Hi students, let's quickly revise 10th standard ICSE Bio chapter 15, population. Throughout human history, we can see three distinct phases where there was a population boom. First, the tool-making revolution around 1 million years ago. Second, the agricultural revolution around 10,000 years ago. And third, the scientific industrial revolution which started around 300 years ago. It's still a J-shaped curve, which means that the population hasn't stabilized yet. It's still increasing. But what are the causes behind this increase? Well, there are 5 reasons. First, better healthcare. The improvement in medical technology has increased our life expectancy. Second, fewer deaths. The death rate has decreased because we have discovered vaccines and antibiotics. Third, food shortages have been minimized thanks to Green Revolution. Fourth, improved nutrition. Since we are now aware about deficiency diseases, we take proper nutrition and prevent deaths. And fifth, lower infant mortality rate. Now, more children are reaching the reproducing age and contributing to the population increase. Now let's talk about the factors which affect population increase in India. In India, the factors are, first, illiteracy. Many people don't know about the reproductive system, so they can't avoid pregnancy. Second, traditional beliefs. Many people have some superstitious belief that children are a gift and make no effort to prevent pregnancy. Third, the infant mortality rate. In India, the mortality rate is a bit higher, which means that there will be couples who reproduce more children, hoping that some of them will survive till adulthood. And when all of them do, the population increases. Fourth, economic reasons. People from the poor strata of society have multiple children, hoping that the children will help to increase the family income. Fifth, religious and social customs. Some people may have religious beliefs which prevents them from using contraceptives. Sixth, desire for a male child. They believe that only a son can continue the lineage of the family and they will keep reproducing till they have a son. Seventh, lack of recreation. If people don't have means of entertainment, they will indulge in sexual intercourse more often, leading to population increase. Now let's understand the effect of population explosion on our resources. First, food. Food production is increasing, but as arithmetic progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas population is increasing in geometric progression. 1, 2, 4, 8. So soon, there might be scarcity of food. Second, water. Pure drinking water is getting extremely scarce due to population explosion. Third, land. Because of the burgeoning population, more land is required for residences, agriculture, etc. Fourth, forests. Deforestation will have severe repercussions. After all, forests are the lungs of the earth. They give us rain and timber and prevent soil erosion, and they give shelter to wildlife. Fifth, energy. We are using fossil fuels, but they are exhaustible and polluting. So we should use non-conventional sources of energy like solar energy, wind energy, nuclear energy, etc. Sixth, minerals. Even they are exhaustible and they cannot be replenished. Now, apart from the population increase, another worrisome point is the rising standard of living of people. People are becoming more materialistic and consuming more resources. This will decrease the resources available for future generations. What we need to do is sustainable development, that is, consume the resources to fulfill our needs without compromising on the ability of the future generations to fulfill theirs. And this can be achieved by the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Now let's study some technical terms. Demography. That's the statistical study of human population. Population density is the number of individuals per square kilometer at a place and time. Birth rate or natality is the number of live births per 1,000 people per year. Death rate or mortality is the number of deaths per 1,000 people per year. And the difference between the two is called growth rate. If the birth rate is higher, growth rate is positive. Now let's understand the impact of large families. The reasons why we should have small families. Large families would mean that the per capita income decreases and so does the standard of living. The resources become scarce and pollution increases. Also, the facilities of education and healthcare are compromised when the population increases. The measures we can take to decrease the population explosion in India are: we can spread awareness about the importance of having small families. We can educate people about using contraception. We can increase the marriage age, which is currently 18 years for girls and 21 years for boys. We should advise couples to have not more than 2 children, and they should have a time gap between the 2 children. Also, people should be educated that there is no need to desire only a male child. Now let's talk about some methods of contraception. First, hormonal pills, which are in low dose. They prevent ovulation, and if egg cells are not released, fertilization can't happen. Second, barrier method. They are of 3 types. Number 1, condoms can be used by the males to wear on their penis during sexual intercourse. This way sperms won't enter the womb and fertilization can't happen. Second, diaphragms can be worn by females near the cervix of their womb. Again, the sperms would be prevented from entering inside the womb and fertilization won't happen. Third, spermicides can be used near the vagina to kill the sperms after sexual intercourse. Another method is using IUDs or intrauterine devices like copper T and Lippes loop. They are inserted in the uterus of the female. They don't prevent fertilization, but they prevent implantation of the fetus called blastocyst to the uterus wall. So pregnancy is avoided. Now, none of these methods are 100% effective. A sure shot way of avoiding pregnancy is through surgical methods. For example, in pubectomy, in females, the fallopian tube or the oviduct is cut and ligated, that is tied up. This way, the ovum released by the ovary cannot be fertilized by the sperms inside. This way, pregnancy is avoided. The counterpart of this method in males is called vasectomy. Here, the vas deferens or the sperm duct is cut and ligated so that the sperms produced in the testis cannot become a part of the semen coming out of the penis during sexual intercourse. So the sperms can never fertilize the egg cell and fertilization won't happen. And the worst case scenario, we have something called MTP or medical termination of pregnancy. In India, termination of pregnancy or abortion is allowed in the first 5 months of pregnancy, which could be because a genetic disease has been discovered in the fetus or because the pregnancy is unplanned and unwanted.
Let's take the markings of this chapter. The first page is entirely cancelled. In the second page, let's start with this. Give the heading Agricultural Revolution. 4 points for Agricultural Revolution, also called the beginning of Metal Age. World Population Day is celebrated on 11 July. Cancel these points. Rapid rise in population. There are 2 main reasons. One is the Industrial Revolution. The Scientific and Industrial Revolution. Mark this as a give reason. There were some drawbacks as well. For example, diseases spread and nutritional diseases also appeared. New discoveries in medical science. This also led to a population boom because of discoveries of antibiotics and vaccinations, because more children per family began to reach the reproductive age. Before this, the infant mortality rate was very high. Mark this as a give reason. In this graph, make the necessary changes. Tool-making revolution, also called Stone Age period, 1 million years ago. Agricultural revolution, Metal Age, 10,000 years ago. And the Scientific Industrial Revolution has started the Information Age 300 years ago. Now the population may stabilize and flatline once again, or it may exponentially increase. So it can be J-shaped or S-shaped, which is unknown. Cancel these 2 paragraphs. Mark the definition of population explosion. Still, half the population of the world lives below the poverty line. India and China make 1/3 of the total world population. Cancel this. All the numbers are cancelled. This figure is just for reference. No need to learn any values. 6 main reasons for the sharp rise in world human population. You learn all 5 points. The 5th point is cancelled, it's repeated. 6th point will become the 5th point. The rest of the page is totally cancelled. The next page is also cancelled except for the last part, factors responsible for population explosion in India. So here there are some factors different from the rest of the world. Illiteracy, traditional beliefs, mortality rate being high, economic reasons, religious and social customs, desire for a male child, which is pretty stupid, lack of recreation. That has changed recently because of the boom of internet. Cancel this table. Now, resources. Mark the definition of resource. Cancel this close bracket. It should come after organism. Brackets are compulsory to be written in the definition. Food is a resource. Population is increasing as per geometrical progression. That is, it's doubling every few years. But food production increases in arithmetic progression, linearly. That is why there is a gap between supply and demand, which is causing food shortage. So stop wasting food. Water is also a precious resource, but pollution is decreasing the availability of potable water. Land is also a resource. One of the most important resources are forests. They give us so many things. These are the advantages of afforestation. Deforestation has disadvantages. Flash floods, droughts, soil erosion, extinction of species, global warming. That is why afforestation is the need of the hour. Energy, we obtain it from fuels. Conventional sources of energy are fossil fuels, which are non-renewable. They're called conventional because they have been used traditionally for a long time. So market is a good reason. Now the time has come for us to switch to non-conventional sources of energy like solar energy, tidal energy, biomass energy, because they are renewable and they cause less pollution. So only that way we will be able to develop sustainably. Even minerals are resources. Mark the give reason. They are non-renewable because they cannot be replenished once they are used. What are the challenges that we face due to population explosion? Well, first of all, there is urbanization happening everywhere. Rural areas are slowly converting into urban areas. For that, we need to build more buildings and markets and hospitals and streets and airports and industries. All of this use up land for which we may deforest the land. That will cause environmental degradation. Another problem is the rising living standards of people. And I believe this is more severe than the population explosion because as people's lifestyle is changing, they are becoming more materialistic and consuming more than required, be it in the form of buying household equipment, electronic gadgets, accessories and clothes, vehicles. All of this puts a strain on the availability of resources for the future generation. But it is our duty to leave enough resources for the future. So developing, but not at the cost of the future generations, is called sustainable development. So mark the definition and learn it word to word. Don't try to write definitions in your own words. Mark this as a give reason. How can we achieve sustainable development? Well, reduce, reuse, recycle, and use renewable resources. These two paragraphs cancelled. Mark some definitions now. Demography. That's a statistical study of human population. Population density definition. Cancel these numbers. Mark the definition of natality or birth rate and even mortality or death rate. The growth rate is the difference between the birth rate and the death rate. If the growth rate becomes negative, then the population of the country declines, which is bad because then human resources become scarce. The ideal growth rate is 2.1. This paragraph cancelled. Need for adopting control measures. Mark it as a give reason. Why should we have smaller families? Why should we control the population? 3 main reasons. Number 1, if the family is too big, if the population is too much, per capita income comes down. Capita means person, per person income. Hence, standard of living decreases. Write it. Second, natural resources decrease, they become scarce, and pollution also increases. That's the second disadvantage. General health and education quality goes down. Please write whatever extra points I'm saying. How to control the population? First of all, The message should be spread far and wide, especially in remote areas and rural areas. Second, they should be informed about the advantages of having small children, small families. That is, less children. Max 2 would be ideal. Cancel this. And also, they should be advised not to insist on having a male child and keep the reproduction continuing till you get a male child. Even the marriageable age should be increased. Currently, it's 18 for girls and 21 for boys. If we increase it further, that will help in bringing the population down. Because at such a young age, people should focus on education and development and not getting a new life on earth. Family planning measures will also help. They should be advised about and given contraception techniques. For example, condoms, example Nirod, IUDs, intrauterine devices, example copper T, oral pills like Melody. There are family welfare centers throughout the country. These clinics have an inverted red triangle. They perform the following functions. First, they advise the family or the couple on how to have a small family. They also take care of the welfare of the small family, including the diet and nutrition of the child and the pregnant mother, and also the subsequent care of the newborn babies, example, immunization and oral rehydration in case of loose motions, so that the young ones survive and there is no need to reproduce again. Now, methods of contraception. Hormonal pills. They are low dose pills. They prevent the release of eggs from the ovary. They are pretty safe. Barrier methods like condoms, which are worn on the penis so that the sperms don't enter the vagina. It's made up of rubber. We can have female condoms as well. Diaphragms. They are fit into the vagina, deep into the vagina at the cervix, which is the mouth of the uterus. Even they prevent the sperm from entering the womb. Spermicides, they are chemicals in the vagina which kill the sperms. IUDs, like copper T and lipase loop. They are placed in the vagina and they release chemicals which prevent implantation. They don't stop fertilization, but they prevent implantation of the blastocyst embryo. But there is one disadvantage: it may come out or can cause infection. One more disadvantage of these barrier methods is that they are not 100% efficient. They don't guarantee that there won't be any fertilization. It may slip off, or it may leak or tear. They help in preventing STDs, but again, not 100% safe. Next, surgical methods. Tubectomy means cutting off the fallopian tubes and tying them up so that the ovum does not reach the fallopian tube, so no fertilization can take place. Vasectomy means cutting off the vas deferens. So if the vas deferens is cut off, then the sperms will not be able to be part of the semen. This does not affect the manliness of the person or reduce the pleasure of sexual intercourse or cause any side effects at all, because the juices will still be released by the seminal vesicles, prostate gland and all, and semen will come out, although without sperms. So pregnancy will become impossible. And this is better than tubectomy because it is easier, it is quicker, and it is safer. So out of the two in the couple, the husband should get operated, not the wife, because tubectomy is more invasive compared to vasectomy. So mark this as a good reason. This has no effect on libido. Libido means sexual energy. And the last case scenario, which is not even a method of contraception, it's an emergency procedure, is called abortion, induced abortion, or medical termination of pregnancy, MTP, which can be done up to 5 months of pregnancy legally without the consent of the husband or the male partner, and even for free in any government hospital. It can be done chemically or surgically. This forced abortion can be opted because the woman does not want to be pregnant, or a genetic disease has been found out in the child up to the 5th month.
Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you like this video, press the like button. If you would like to enroll for my online test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check the description for more information.